Look at those magic hands work. It's Chris at Asti Italian Trattoria in Fort McMurray. We're making homemade pasta, and we're going to make some linguine, one of my favorites.
Yeah, we use linguine quite regularly in the restaurant. We use multiple other cuts of pasta as well, but linguine is definitely one of our biggest sellers. So I have dough made here, which is pretty simple. It's flour, eggs, a little bit of white wine, water, and salt.
And love.
And a lot of love, yes. If you're doing this at home and you don't have a KitchenAid, you're gonna have to put a lot more love into this.
You call your Italian grandparents up and you say, listen,
that's right.
I need you for about 6 or 7 days, 12 hours a day, we're making homemade linguine. And they'll say yes, because they're Italian grandparents. And they're
get out the rolling pin and just start rolling. So here I have one portion of linguine. I'm going to be putting it through the machine. I'm starting at 1 and I'm working my way to 6. Because the difference between linguine and something like fettuccine is the thickness. So
you're going to crank this bad boy up and you're going to slowly thin it down?
That's correct. And you have to do it one by one, because if you jump a couple, it usually gets stuck or it does not turn out.
Okay, fire it up. So while Chris is doing this, just a simple at-home pasta care reminder tip. If you have a ball of your dough that's sitting out, you want to keep it covered like we've done here.
Yeah, it dries out super quick, so you always want to make sure to keep it covered.
It won't get dry and flaky like the top of my head. So as you can see, the pasta is getting thinner and thinner each time Chris passes it through the machine. And we'll slowly be going from, we started at a 1, we're going all the way down to a 6. Is that the thinnest setting that you have?
There is actually thinner, but any thinner and it'll usually fall apart in the water. So you always want to try to keep it. You don't want to go to the point where you can see through the pasta.
Right.
Otherwise, you don't have pasta anymore.
It has to keep its shape.
That's correct.
Naturally.
That's correct.
Okay, so now we're down to...
We're at 5. And
1 more to go.
One more to go.
And crazy to see how that small piece of pasta that you started with is now this long band.
Isn't it? Isn't it crazy?
Looks like one of those elastic bands that you see all the hot mamas working out with at the gym.
We actually we use all the same portions for the linguine and the fettuccine, but when it's in the bowl, linguine looks like it's twice as big because it's so much thinner. So it's like double the size.
It looks like there's more, even though it's the same amount.
Exactly.
It's a visual trick.
It is.
Now you're swapping out parts, so the first one was the roller, it thinned out the pasta, and this one's the cutter.
And now we're going to cut it. So, good idea. I usually cut it into 3 sections, so you don't have, like a 5-foot piece of pasta. And then we'll put...
so thin and delicate.
Yeah. And then we're going to put these 3 pieces through, one at a time. And a good trick is to put it in cornmeal, just a little bit of semolina. Cornmeal and semolina are very similar. Semolina is a lot thinner than cornmeal.
Okay. And why do you do that?
It's just so they don't stick together once they come out of the machine.
Okay. Now we're cutting. Look at that. Perfect. The linguine into the semolina.
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 Semolina, yeah.
I'm thinking Florida State Seminoles, but that's okay. This is homemade pasta, homemade linguine. The pro Chris here at Asti Trattoria Italiana in Fort McMurray. Beautiful stuff. This is all homemade, handmade, and I can't wait to fire this stuff up and shovel it down my gullet in a few minutes. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back with more great stuff on DT.